Kenta Maeda, baby. Woo! Let's step into the on-deck circle.
You're listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it's KC Bubba, and it's you, and we're talking all things MLB DFS, and we want to remind you, if you're new to the program, make sure you subscribe, or if you've been listening to the program, subscribe. That's right. You subscribe and hit the little notifications button, and then boom, all of a sudden, you get Bubba and Joey P talking baseball 5 days a week for you, getting you set on FanDuel, on DraftKings, and everywhere else you're going to play your daily fantasy baseball. And I also want to tell everybody, too, the football podcast is right around the corner. That's right. The pre-snap will be back. Scott Bogman from the Black Book and In This League is going to be joining me for that one. It's going to be lit, as the kids like to say. So make sure you get ready, because we got everything for you here at LineStar, and the LineStar app is available right now. Go to LineStarApp.com and get the premium product as well. And Bubba, it was a good night. I wish sometimes we'd listen to ourselves a little bit more. You know, I did that thing yesterday where I overthought a little bit, and I should have had more Kenta Maeda than I had. And look, good on him, man. It was a big strikeout night from a guy who doesn't usually have those kind of strikeouts. So our cash game pitcher was a little disappointing. Carrasco did not live up to expectations against the Pirates, but at least Kenta Maeda outlived his expectations.
Yeah, Kenta Maeda, filthy 8 no-hit innings, finally got broken up in the 9th. They let him go back out. I was surprised because he had 113 pitches, but 12 Ks, got the job done. He's just been absolutely consistent as they come. Like we talked about yesterday, we just didn't expect that kind of performance. We expected a good performance, but not that. That was outstanding. Yeah,
12 strikeouts for him. Boy, I'm glad I talked about him on TV yesterday. Now I look really smart.
There you go. Smart
also,
stuff and things.
Bubba getting some love on the internet yesterday for steering people away in the day slate from Dylan Bundy because of all the heat and the ball flying out everywhere. So good job on that, because if you had Greinke instead of Bundy, you done pretty good. You done much better there in that contest, that's for sure. Let's fly around yesterday's board. Blake Snell got the W against the Yankees there. Brennan Lau, oh my goodness, 5th time in 6 games. Austin Meadows also hit one, but Lau has got to be the story, man. This guy has just been red hot, Bubba.
Yeah, he's been ridiculous. Like, I always knew he's a good contact hitter, batting average guy, but the power's there. They haven't played in the outfield now, which we didn't really expect coming into the season. He's doing it all for them, and we'll see what he can do tonight against one Garrett Cole.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was going to say, maybe that run comes to an end tonight, but we'll see what happens here. Robles makes a great catch and holds on for the Nats win 8-5 over the Rockies. You also have the Dodgers just squeaking one out against the Mariners. Why are the Mariners giving the Dodgers fits? I don't understand what's happening here.
What a disappointing 2-game series. Now they go to Seattle for 2. I can't wait to see how that goes.
Oh, the home and homes. Blech. But seriously, man, like and you know what? That's why we stayed away from Gonsolin too. I got scared off the stripling thing. I was seeing dead people and I couldn't do it anymore. Mets offense was good, like we said they would be. Brendan Nimmo had 3 hits there. You had some good moments there. Cano got involved a little bit. JD Davis got involved a little bit. Next thing you know, the Mets are, I'm not going to say rolling. Let's just say winning games. Let's just, let's not go too far here. It is the Marlins, and the Marlins are starting to show, obviously, where they're at right now in terms of bodies and talent and everything in between. I got my home run from Bryce Harper, too. Another guy I talked about on TV yesterday, and we talked about extensively on the show, because Harper was another guy, great opportunity against the Red Sox. Bubba and I very much into Bryce Harper last night. I should have called him for my home run, but I just called him last week and it felt kind of dirty. So, but retrospect, once again, go with your gut, right? Like, why do we second guess ourselves? We do all this work.
I've been second guessing myself too much. Like, I already know who I'm taking tonight. I don't care if anybody says it's too.
Oh, me too. And you know what? It'll be wrong. And now tonight it'll be wrong. And then we'll.
Yep. I know.
Anthony Bass got the win late here as the Orioles lost to the Blue Jays 8-7. In this one, Travis Shaw had scored on a throwing error. He also had himself a pretty decent game for his return on investment. We talked about that White Sox lineup. Now, I did have Tim Anderson last night, so that was good.
Yes, first at bat. First at bat.
Dude, that's what you got to love about Anderson. He just gets up there and he's just ready to go. And this is
Did
another
you see
guy
him trot
too.
around the bases?
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing, man. And I was just gonna say that this is another guy who caught a lot of crap last year for his style of play. Baseball, stop being so old and boring. Just
Yep.
God, this is fun. Tim Anderson's fun. This is good for the game. Okay. If you don't like it, stop giving up home runs to guys. Okay. Like, what else am I supposed to tell you?
Shushing the dugout was pretty darn awesome. I was a big
Oh,
fan of that. That was so good.
It's just so good. It's just great. I love it.
Yep.
I love personality in baseball. I want it back. I grew up with the 86 Mets who would do curtain calls in other people's stadiums. Okay.
That's amazing.
And it's true. I'm not like, this is not exaggeration. They used to do that and other people get furious about it. And you know what? You don't like it? Try beating them. You know, that's what happens when a team wins 108 games. You know?
I remember when I used to go to Candlestick Park, for those that might not even know what that was, when the Giants played there, and the opposing team had to come down from the right field. They had a little door in right field side to walk all the way across the field to the visitors' dugout on the third base side. And every time Tommy Lizardo would come out, he'd tip his hat and take the slowest walk, waving to all the fans as they booed him the entire time.
Yeah. Again, another great character of baseball. You know what? Nobody's going to remember Jace Tingler, but we all remember Tommy Lizardo, right? You see? Gosh, don't they understand? They're entertainers, like me and Bubba are. So Anderson was really good, obviously. That's right. Dylan Cease got another W. His ERA is down to 3.16 right now. So Dylan Cease, don't look now. Starting to become better and better. I know we didn't want to go there, and you know what? Maeda was the right pick, obviously. Which is stunning is because he lost a no-hitter there in the ninth, but he still didn't come away with the W, which was frustrating, but at least he made up for it with the strikeouts. He was brilliant. Darvish, yet again, the ERA is at 1.80. I don't know what this change is, if it's mechanical, if it was tipping pitches, whatever it is, but man, this guy is just absolutely on fire. Just incredible. Oh, and by the way, I can't believe it's 2020 still going on. Matt Harvey is going to pitch today, I should say, in the doubleheader for the Reds and the Royals.
At least it's only a 7-inning game, so it can't go too.
Yeah, like 7 innings is something that guy would sniff anyway. So yeah, so Matt Harvey's going to pitch for the Royals today. So, 2020, you crazy, crazy lady, you. All right, so that was yesterday, and now today it's a new day. Yes, it is. So let's get after it. We do have a couple afternoon games here. We got Jake Arrieta against Kyle Hart, Phillies and Red Sox. Tommy Malone against Tanner Roark in Camden Yards. You've also got a 2:20 game here with Alec Mills and Jack Flaherty, and Adalbert Azoulay against I don't know who's pitching for the Cardinals right now. I don't even know if they know at this point. Do we have an official starter this morning?
I have not seen one yet. You'd imagine Jack Flaherty's going to pitch someday, but I don't know when.
Well, yeah, Flaherty's going to pitch that first game of the doubleheader, I think. So I'm going to let this day slate go personally.
Yes, pretty bad because the doubleheader games aren't on the slate anyway. So it's a 2-game day. Ew.
Yeah, it's 2 games with no, what are you going to do? Jake Arrieta? That's the pitcher. You're going to go Kyle Hart or Tommy. When Tanner Roark looks like the best pitcher on the mound, I think you just fade away from that and just move on. So let's move on and let's pick things up here. It's 7:05 because 7:05 in Yankee Stadium tonight, you do get Garrett Cole, 10.9 against Tyler Glasnow, 8K. Now, look, this actually, at first glance, I think it has some appeal. You say, okay, well, Garrett Cole is tremendous. Glasnow, 8.8 on DK, Garrett Cole at 11. Okay, is there any contrarian opposite love here? But then when you look at the innings of Glasnow so far, 4 innings, I can't get there because no matter how good he is, I can't see him outlasting Garrett Cole. And for me, that's a no bueno. So I'm not going there. If you want to pay up for Cole in cash, that's fine. I mean, I'm not against it. I mean, as good as Meadows and Lau have been, it's Garrett Cole. But I can see people wanting to take Glasnow tonight, and I think that's a bad idea.
Yes, no Tyler Glasnow for me. He's not going deep in games. He's getting hit very hard, or he's walking everybody. Either way, it's bad. And if you are going to get Yankee happy, which I'm not, go with the right-handed bats because Glasnow's reverse splits have stood out big time this year.
Yeah, I like that call as well. Obviously, same thing goes here. Middle of the Yankee lineup, mid-4 range on DK. You know what you're getting into here against Glasnow. And if he is walking a lot of guys, that can get him in trouble here. But same thing, and FanDuel, it's holding true. Urshela 3.2, Torres 2.8, Tauchman 2.7, Gary Sanchez is even at 3. So you're getting a lot of value here because this is not the regular Yankees. Clint Frazier with some power at 3.12. So look, I don't love this Yankee offense tonight against Glasnow because Glasnow is capable of going out there and throwing 4.5 to 5 innings of good baseball. So I'm just going to stay away from this, from generally speaking, from the offense. If you want to go cold, just run him out there by himself. I'm cool with that too. The next one is Aaron Savali at 9.5 against the Pirates. And I don't want to get burned again because last night looked so good and it wasn't good enough for Carrasco. He's 9.8 against the Pirates on DK. Can we learn to love again tonight, Bubba?
See, I'm really torn on this one because it seems like the last two times I've targeted the Pirates, it's been DeSclafani and Carrasco. That's what's so much fun. Even though we know the Pirates are very, very bad against right-handed pitching, like almost 28% strikeout rates at like a 120 average. They've been horrible against righties, unless I use them in DFS, basically.
But so I guess the answer is, if you're using them, we should all be off them tonight.
That's the scientific math behind all this. But Savali, the one thing I'm curious about, because he's been very, very good, but some guys on Twitter were mentioning his pitch mix. I think it was Nick Pollock or something like that. His first 2 games, heavy cutter, low four seam. Last 2 games, heavy four seam, low cutter. He got hit a lot harder the last 2 games. So I don't know what he's doing right now, but I'm kind of scared to pay that price point when there's other options on the board tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I think if Savali was somewhere in the 8 range, it'd be much more interesting to me. But because he's so much closer to DeGrom and Cole, I would rather just pay up for DeGrom and Cole. And look, against the lefty too, Stephen Brault, he's not great, obviously, but it's not as good of a mix to, if you want to pay up for Jose Ramirez and Lindor, it's going to cost you $5K to do it over on DraftKings. It's going to cost you less on FanDuel, obviously, but not that much less. Like Jose Ramirez is still $4K. So I don't know. This is another one to me where it feels like a trap. So I'm going to run away from it. I don't think it's a bad play. I'm just going to put that out there. If you want to go into Lindor and Ramirez and Hernandez tonight and stack the top of this order, perfectly fine with that. I would just rather have the left-handed side power most of the time as opposed to these guys from the right side. And that includes obviously Carlos Santana also. Jacob deGrom is 11.8 on DK, very expensive there. But on FanDuel, he's, I think, reasonable at 10.7 considering the slate, considering the Mets offense has actually been alive in the last few days. I actually like this one. I know he's going against Pablo Lopez, who has some moments as well. But of all the cash game pitchers tonight, this one to me makes the most sense, Bubba. Like I just, if he's healthy enough to be going, he's healthy enough to be DeGrom, and the Mets offense looks pretty decent right now. So I'm not afraid of Pablo Lopez. Are you afraid of Pablo Lopez?
Well, two things. I do like DeGrom on FanDuel more than Cole, but on DraftKings, I'll take the savings of Cole over DeGrom.
Yes,
so I'll specify that now. But I like Pablo Lopez as a cheap SP2 on DraftKings. I mentioned it last time out. Last year, he had like a low 3 ERA at home. He pitched very, very well at home. He pitched great his last outing at home. Only bad start he had this year was against the Mets, but that's when he had 4 walks. He's had 0 walks in any other starts this year. So it's just a matter of can he locate his pitches and keep his command. I do agree the Mets offense is getting better, especially from the left side of the plate. That's where you can get to Lopez in the past. But I think as an SP2 on DK, I don't mind Pablo Lopez.
Is that in tournaments or is that in cash?
Yes, tournaments only, because I can see the argument you're going to start to make with Dom Smith, Cano, Conforto.
Well, exactly.
That's a very good lefty side of the play.
All these lefties in this lineup look. Yep. I mean, this is a very heavy left-handed lineup for the Mets. So
they're swinging it good.
Yeah, don't say it out loud. If you say it out loud, it's like the Candyman. You say it one more time, and then the next thing you know, Lastings Millage shows up, and then it all goes
Lastings, and they're affordable on DK too. Tom Smith 39, Nimmo 35. Some affordable players there. I'm just going to try to pretend you didn't say that one name, so you don't have to think
what's
about
Lastings Millage? What's his price on DK tonight?
He's minus 1,700. You get money back for playing him.
I like that. Now
value play of the night.
But no, I think go with the Mets one more time tonight. I really do. That middle of the order too. I mean, if you want to go up to the top with Nimmo, he's getting hot right now. And the nice thing about Nimmo and cash is he is a low price, high floor kind of player when he's going right, because he's a high OBP guy. He's going to walk. He's going to be up there scoring runs and things like that. So he doesn't have a high ceiling necessarily, but he is a guy that can, good return on investment. And look, if you're trying to get DeGrom on FanDuel in the single pitcher site, then the Mets make a lot of sense because you're getting a lot of value here. Davis, McNeil, 2.7, 2.7. Nimmo 2.9. You can go down to the bottom of this order too with Wilson Ramos at 2.2, and there's a lot of cost effectiveness there that you can have. Nobody on the Mets is above 3.7 is the only guy. It's Alonso. Everybody else is 3.2 and less. Eric Fetty and Kyle Wright are going to lock horns tonight in Atlanta for the Nats and Braves game. Your feelings and thoughts on this one? They're awfully cheap.
Them up. Give me all the Nats. Juan Soto. I don't care how expensive he is. Like, that's the one guy I'll pay up for tonight. Just take him. He's doing everything you want. Dribble Cabrera is affordable. And then the punt I've been using every night on DK and FanDuel, and he's still only 2,300 on both sides tonight. It's Luis Garcia hitting 6 in that lineup, being super. He's like a free square in cash right now. So I love that. And then the left side of the plate for the Braves as well. You can attack there, but love me some Nats and don't mind some Braves because both these pitchers are bad.
Yeah, what's the over on this? 10, I think, today.
10, yeah. Coors is the only higher over. Coors is 12.5.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second here. Look, we don't have exact things of what's going on here with the Reds game yet. So if you get on the slate and Trevor Bauer's on there and you want to go to Trevor Bauer against Matt Harvey, you know what to do. Like, you don't need us to tell you that. Just move on with that one. Let's talk about Casey Mize making his debut. That's exciting. It's Dane Dunning. Look at all these young kids. This is great. It's like Little League. All the kids are playing. This is fantastic. We didn't have Little League World Series, but we're having it Major League Baseball this year. Look, I don't expect either of these guys to go very long. I'm going to go right back to the well here. No offense to Casey Mize. He's a nice young pitcher, but can we really expect 6 shutout innings from Casey Mize? Probably not. So go right back to the Abreu and Tim Anderson and Loya Menez and all blah, blah, blah. You know the score, man. And check on Robert, see if he's in the lineup or not. But, dude, for me, like, it's just go back to the White Sox well until it proves like it's dry. And so far, it seems like it's bottomless.
Yep, I'm not going to really have to add on too much to that because I like all the White Sox, like you said. I agree. Mize might be good, but he's not going deep, and that Detroit bullpen is what we want to target anyways. So, get all your White Sox. I'm not going to elaborate any further.
Yeah, Rich Hill and Brett Anderson, Twins versus Brewers tonight. Hill is 7.4 on FanDuel, Anderson just 5.9. And on the DK side of things, you've got Brett Anderson 6.8, Rich Hill 7.4. I don't expect Rich Hill to go very deep into this game, nor Brett Anderson. So this is another one where we imagine we're into the bullpens. And if so, I think I'm going to favor the Twins here in this one because of this lineup. I love the price, by the way, of Jorge Polanco. He's just 2.8. Oh my God, on FanDuel, like seriously, like him and Mitch Garver at the top 2.8, 2.5. That's a fantastic sell there. As far as I'm concerned, Eddie Rosario is just 3.2. There's a lot of value in this Twins lineup on FanDuel and not so much over on DK. Once again, Nelson Cruz 5.3, Mitch Garver 4.9. Like it's a big chasm. Even Max Kepler is 4.4, pretty expensive. I would be looking for Buxton. I would be looking for Eddie Rosario, Marwin Gonzalez, perhaps on DK. On the FanDuel side, the other guys I mentioned. Do you have any love for the Brewers here, or is it all Twins for you too?
Pretty much all Twins, just because the Brewers' offense looks extremely lost right now. I know Rich Hill's coming off an injury, but I don't like what I'm seeing out of them. And just remember, Nelly Cruz versus a lefty is always a fun place to be if you can afford it.
All right, here you go. Get ready. This is it. Framber Valdez, 8.3 on DK against Ryan Castellani, my people, at 4.9 on DK. He's just 7.8 Valdez on FanDuel. Castellani, 6.3. Now, I know Castellani burned Bubba last week, but
yep.
Hear me out, everybody. Every now and then I do this. I do this like once or twice a year. Last year I did it with Ryu. I don't know if you remember that Ryu start in Colorado. He was brilliant and nobody wanted to start him. I was like, no, this guy's pitching great. No one's hitting this guy and he's not walking anybody. And as long as those things hold, he's fine. I'm using that same logic here with Framber Valdez. Okay. He's got a good potential for a W here because Castellani, I don't think is going to be good twice in a row in Colorado. And I'm also going to take that logic of if you look at Valdez's game log, he's going 6 innings. He is not getting hit. He is not walking anybody. He's striking out a batter per 9. Everything here lines up to a fantastic, and the ownership is going to be low because it's Colorado. Give me Framber Valdez. Is it a single entry tournament play? Probably not. Is it going to be my tournament play tonight? Yes. I will live and die with this with you. Don't worry, kids. I'm right there with you. So the question is, Bubba, are you with me as well here today?
May the force be with you, Joe. May the force be with you.
I'm on my own.
I understand what you're saying. I get it.
I understand you're speaking words. There's words.
Yeah, but if I'm taking a picture in this game, I'm going to gamble on Castellani on DK at a punt. Just this Houston offense is broken.
Look how you turned so quickly. Wait a minute.
Yeah, Springer got pulled. I'm just saying.
No,
their offense is dreadful right now.
You were attacking this young man just a week ago.
Yes, and I repented.
No, you're not wrong. See, here you go. Here, your initial instincts were right. And this guy's going to screw you the second time. I'm telling you right now, this is it. We talked about this at the top of the show. How many guys can go out there 2 times in a row and pitch well in Colorado? Hardly anybody. Can Framber Valdez do it one time? Yes, he can.
Yeah, just don't play pitching in Colorado is my usual motto. So
it's my usual motto too. I told you I do it once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And the results have been okay when I've done it.
I really hope we get to come on the show tomorrow and you can just like laugh at me for 45 minutes.
Look, all I know is tomorrow's show is going to be outstanding no matter what. Because if Framber Valdez is great, it's going to be a great show. If he's terrible, Bubba's going to crush me. Oh, goodness gracious. On the hitting side of this one, I'm going to pay up for Bregman, especially. Correa got a maintenance day yesterday, so I pay for Correa. Look, 3-6 for Correa, 3-6 for Gurriel, even 4-3 for Bregman. It's not impossible here to get involved with the Houston Astros. It's really not. Look, you know about the Rockies. You know the score here. You know what? But as hot as Blackman's been and Arenado and all these guys, it's baseball. It comes back around and then they go into cold streaks. That's just what happens here. And by the way, you talk about, Alex Bregman on DK. You want to talk about variance? He's 6.2 tonight. Okay. So what does that tell you? That tells you they love this matchup here for Bregman against Castellani. Guess what? So do I. Spoiler alert. It's going to be mentioned again later in the show. Anything else from this game before you tell me I'm wrong again?
No, I'm just going to let this one go for now. We can talk about it tomorrow morning.
Look at you cagey son of a... All right, let's go here. Lance Lynn against Chris Paddock. Paddock is just 7-7 on DK. Oh, you can hear the ownership going through the roof already. Lance Lynn is 9.2. On FanDuel, the pricing obviously a little different here. You got Lance Lynn all the way at 9.7, so he's where Savali is basically. Paddock is 8.1. So this is another 4 outcome for me. This is the 4 outcome game of the night, and Lance Lynn's been really good. I feel like people are going to take the discount on Paddock instead of the performance of Lance Lynn. And if I have to lean a certain way, I'm going to lean towards the performance of Lance Lynn so far. Problem is the price. Problem is once I go around 10, like, why don't I just go all the way up and get me Grom? But what are your thoughts on this one here?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think if you want to go land in a GPP to pivot off of DeGrom, 100% with you there. I think he's very valuable on DraftKings as well. It's just one of those, he's been a beast coming off a complete game in Coors. You wonder when the other shoe's going to drop because you're going to have a bad start eventually. And the Padres offense is good. And I'm going to keep riding Lynn right now. The strikeouts are there. There's a lot of swing and miss on the Padres offense. As powerful as they are, they do strike out a lot. So that's big. And then, like you said, the ownership on Paddock, I could see going through the roof. I could see the GPP argument for him, but he's been so bad overall. I'm going to try to steer clear of him. And that's where I was kind of looking at Lopez as a pivot on DraftKings as the SP2 instead of Paddock. But I like Lynn quite a bit tonight.
Are you worried about Paddock?
Low ownership.
Because this is my expectations for him to take that next step forward, and it hasn't really happened. It started off good, and now it's gotten weird.
I barely had him as a top 50 pitcher going into the year. I did not like Paddock at all. Until he developed another third quality pitch, I didn't like what we saw there. And right now, he's having it. If he can't locate, he's very hittable, and we've seen that.
It's troublesome, nonetheless. What's also troublesome is the pitching in this next game. Merrill Kelly against Jesus Lizardo. Lizardo's dirt cheap. He's 7.3. And he's 8.2 on DK, but I'm telling you guys, like, as good as the talent is, he's still a 4-inning pitcher right now. And until he proves otherwise, I'm not going there. But stop me if you heard this one before. Guess what? Matt Olson, Matt Chapman are 3.5 and 3.6. Every day. You just lock it in there if you want. Merrill Kelly, very hittable. We know that. Also, some really good value. Piscotty and Grossman. Piscotty 2.8, Grossman 2.9 on FanDuel. So you get some real discount there. On DK, Grossman's just 3.3. So, and he's been swinging a hot bat. Your thoughts and feelings on the A's and Diamondbacks tonight?
Yeah, there's value with Grossman for sure. Like you said, 33 on DK is really, really nice. Merrill Kelly's been a little better this year, but I agree, very hittable at times. The story of this one on DraftKings, though, Ketel Marte's $3,800 and Starling Marte is only $3,700. If you're not playing at least Starling Marte in cash, you're doing things wrong. They're both very, very, very cheap, and I don't know what happened to DraftKings. Like, all the Diamondbacks are cheap tonight. And Lizardo, as good as he can be, we saw the Giants just torch him, and you mentioned only 4 innings. The Diamondbacks do give you some nice late-night value.
It's funny. I was just sitting here thinking about this week. Ryu hit, and then Kenta Maeda hit this week. You had a good run with the Asian pitchers this week. Really good. It reminds me of a friend of mine in a baseball league I was in. One time he had a bunch of relievers like Suzuki, and I think he had Young Kim on his team and a bunch of guys like that. And he named his team Tsunami Relief, which I thought was very funny.
Oh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
I thought of all the great, and it just kind of popped in my head. And every time I think it was, for some reason, like in the recesses of my brain, these funny things come up sometimes. So I think I share them on the show once in a while. But in terms of like baseball fantasy teams, that's a pretty good one.
That's a good one.
And then he beat me in the playoffs that year, and he sent me a Tsunami Relief magnet. I remember.
Oh, man.
Because at the time you made a donation and then sent it to me.
That is awesome. That's the kind of trolling I appreciate.
I was going to say, see, that's high level trolling. And if you're going to play in a league with me, you have to be up to that kind of stuff. That's where you got to be. Julio Urias at 10.1 on DK. No, thank you, against Taijuan Walker at 7. I'm running away from both of these guys. Urias is 7.9, Taijuan Walker 7.5. And I feel like once again, we're getting sucked in with the price, but you look at what Urias has done. He has not been dominant. Okay. So right now, I don't care what the price is until you show me you're dominant, like that you can handle this and you've got a good feeling on things. Whatever the reason, maybe the Mariners this happens sometimes where like a bad team has a good team's number. It just feels like that right now. So I'm just going to run away from it, for better or worse. You can run towards Mookie Betts and Corey Seager and the usual suspects in LA. You don't need us to tell you that they're good. So I would still play them against Seattle. And look, Kyle Lewis hasn't stopped hitting at 3.1. He's still a value. He's only 3.7, by the way, on DK, which is kind of shocking that price isn't higher.
Yeah, no, I like that. He even stole a bag last night, so that was big. The one thing I will say is the Mariners aren't great, and they're really bad versus lefties. I agree with your Urias take, but I could see $7,900 making things very interesting.
It's going to make it interesting. I think it's going to make it disappointing. I got to be honest, especially single pitcher. Like, and forget it on DK at 10. No, thank you. Like, for you to return 10, he's got to go like 7 innings.
DK, not a chance. Yeah, DK not a chance.
Please, bro.
Yeah, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, Blake Snell.
Come on, yeah, it's like that Blake Snell. He threw 3 innings. Let's make him a 12K pitcher. It's stupid.
Bigger bro. Plesac or Snell? Go.
Plesac. I actually think it's a bigger bro.
I don't think bro's the right name for him, but yeah, that's
it's actually the B. Patrick Sandoval 7.1 against Johnny Cueto 5.6. Is it still 1,000 degrees out there in San Fran or what? What's going on?
Yes, and it's everything's on fire. There's smoke everywhere. It's going to be ugly and sad. You're thinking it's going to be smog and fog. It's going to be smoke. It's nasty out there right now.
All right, so Mike Trout at 6.1. Anthony Rendon is 5K. Trout's 4.6. Rendon's 3.9. You can go to the top of the order with Fletcher and LaStella, get a little value there. 3.1 for Fletcher, just 2.3 for LaStella hitting in front of Trout. You can always take Ohtani to a 2.9. But look, Johnny Cueto's not very good. Sandoval's not necessarily lighting the world on fire, no pun intended. But although it was funny. So that's kind of my take on this one. This one doesn't have. Are you attacking this? I mean, the wind is blowing out substantially here. So if you couple all that in,
to me, it's interesting more so on FanDuel because the pricing, like Ohtani, Goodwin, LaStella, cheap. You could mix that in with a Trout or a Rendon. Yaz is hitting everybody. Like it's interesting. I'm not going to say it's not. Maybe it's more of a late night slate play than a full slate play, but it wouldn't shock me if we get some offense in this game. At least out of all the 6 o'clock games, this is the one I'd pick out of the 4. Let's put it that way, or 9 o'clock games for you guys on the East Coast.
All right, fair enough. It's that time again, boys and girls. It's time to call our shot. Bubba and I are going to give you our picks to go yard tonight. And it's Wednesday night already. And we're going to try to see if we can get somebody to take that baseball and put it where the sun don't shine. And my pick tonight is Alex Bregman in Colorado. Yes, that's right. Look, it's very expensive on DK, but on FanDuel, it is reasonable. You can do it. And so can Alex Bregman. So give me Bregman tonight with the Framber Valdez win. That's right. I said it. And I'm going to say it here on this segment because I know this segment goes on Twitter. So everyone can hear me and then they can either make fun of me or praise me afterwards. That's right. I will go on record. I am not afraid. Bubba, where are you going for your home run tonight, my friend?
I am going with the most consistent player in baseball, the National League Player of the Week. I'm going with Juan Soto, taking Kyle Wright deep tonight.
Yeah, in other news, the mail shows up 6 days a week. So great.
Hey, you took a Coors Field bat, so none of that.
I did. All right. So if you like this segment, you can always retweet it and win some merch if you go over to LineStar on Twitter. Go follow them at LineStar App, and you can retweet this segment. Give us your home run call as well, and win some free stuff. So everybody likes free stuff. Everybody likes home runs. It's a win-win for everybody. And while you're at it, go to LineStarApp.com and download that LineStar app, upgrade to the premium product, and follow us at LineStar MLB as well while you're at it. You can also follow Bubba at KC Bubba and me at Joe Pisapia 17. That'll do it for us today. But the story of the game goes on for KC Bubba and Framber Valdez. I'm Joe Pisapia. There's nothing left to do now except step out of the on-deck circle and into the batter's box and go yard. Even if it's a 3-0 count and my manager tells me to take, I'm still going yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.